Welcome back. Now, at a time when even the best of luxury markets are available on rent, why should cars be left behind? Why should you have to spend to buy a car when you can just rent one yourself? Self-drive car rental marketplace JustRide does just that. To discuss the scope of the model and why, in fact, they feel they're better than competition, we're being joined today by Aishwarya Singh, CEO at the company. Aishwarya, thanks so much for joining us. You also founded the concept, the company. Yeah. You were the one with the concept and the idea. So take us through really what led to it in the first place.
I was an analyst at Prime Services in Namura in Powai. So I had a car, Ford Figo, which used to give me 40,000 every month with the EMI and the fuel cost. There were 4 of us staying at an apartment in Powai. So we thought if all 4 of us could share the cost, it would have been a great pleasure. Like I would have saved almost 60% of my salary. So from there, this idea generated, and then I left my job, struggled for 6 months, traveled 4 cities, learned the concept, how the market is. Then we were the first one to aggregate this place.
So take us to the whole concept, because this entire segment has been extremely active. We've seen a lot of activity being done in terms of making transport easy for this country, which has really been a big issue. Take us as to how your product really fits in.
Currently, we are applying from A to A, like you can pick up a car from anywhere and drop it at the same place. But once we scale up to 700 cars in each city, you can drop the car to any point in the city. Okay. So this would make a car affordable, and you can have the cars delivered at your doorstep within 10 minutes, which is less than Uber's or Ola's access time. So we want people to drive car on their wish, and it's more economical when you lease a car than buying a car, because car is a depreciating asset, and when the economics work out, we are 40% cheaper than Ola or Uber.
Okay, so let's take this step by step. If I want to hire a car, this means that you give me the option on an app, I'm assuming, to go out there, and I still have to go pick it up, or it comes to me. That's an option, or
we are into hyper-local delivery system. We deliver it at your doorstep.
So it comes to my doorstep.
Yeah.
And you're saying that you're 40% cheaper than
Ola and Uber.
Than taking a cab.
But it doesn't really stop there itself. You've got a proprietary analysis product as well, which probably determines the way the car operation really play out. And that's the other bigger role as well. Along with the fact that you actually get to self-drive a car, you also get some real-time analysis, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll just explain why this product came up, because when I went into the analysis of the whole Uber segment and the Uber's business model, the ecosystem is still not complete, because at the end of the year, when you try to sell out that car after 3 years, you don't know what the exact value of the car is. There's no scientific way to calculate it. So we developed an in-house technology, which is called as smart vehicle technology, which gives us a real-time access of all the 200 parameters present in a car, and we scientifically develop the real-time valuation of the car. And then we judge the user also on 20 parameters. So if you're driving my car well, I'll charge you less the next time you have my car.
But what's the revenue model here for the operators? What's the benefit in coming on board with you? And even for you, what is the kind of revenue model you're working with?
This is this is one of the few startups in India which make money.
Already?
Yeah, we were operationally profitable in 1 month. It's just a short journey, but still in our short journey, we were profitable in 1 month. And we have around 30% margin on each ride, and we still pass on around 25% to the cab operators.
All right, so let's talk about the road ahead. What's in store? What are we planning?
We are quickly expanding into 12 more cities by year end, and we want to establish a strong micro-leasing brand. Then we have few unique products coming up, in which you can lease out your own car and come up with your car will be an earning member of your family.
So much competition in this field, even though, as you said, you said you were the first, but we've already got many other companies that are doing much the same. Do you feel that there's enough of a market for everyone, or do you feel that you stand out in some way?
We were the first aggregator, and with the SVT coming up, we would be the leader in technology and leader in product-wise, so we are not scared of any competitions. We believe in good quality work, and we have a good team and a good product.
So what's the kind of size of the team at the moment? You've already got your first round of funding coming in, just under $1 million or so. Yeah. So when do you think you'll be looking for the next round, since you have such ambitious plans to scale up?
Maybe we already have the next round. I might not release it. But looking forward, by December, we should be in 12 cities in India, and we would scale up quite quickly. And my team size would be around 40 members in 4 cities. We are into a very compact team size because I feel a lot of startups are feeling it because of overhiring. So we have kept it very simple. Every city will be handled by 3 people. And we have learned some good things from a lot of people like Uber, Ola, and etc. And we're trying to implement all the positive points in our startup.
So take us to, what have been some of the on-ground realities out here? Because, when you talk from an aggregator point of view, it's very difficult to break that initial ground, to get that initial bit of traction. What have been some of your learnings when you, interacted with people on ground, you try to get your base going?
So the first thing, what happened with me, like no one was willing to give me cars worth 5 CR without any guarantee. So there was this gentleman, they have a company called Ecos Rent and Mobility Indus. They took 20 lakhs deposit from me, and then they rented, give me car worth 5 CR. And I didn't have the 20 lakhs. So I went around to a few investors selling this concept that I have the aggregator model in place. And within 5 days, I had my first investment.
Okay, so give us a sense as well, Aishwarya, because you're a very young investor, right? Young entrepreneur right now. You just about started, and there must be a lot of pressure on you as well in terms of just expectations to deliver, to grow, and so forth. What are some of the learnings so far that help to keep you in good stead?
I believe in leadership is of like lot many qualities. So what I have learned is to distribute leadership among all my co-members and team, make them responsible, make them feel important, and you'll get the best out of them. This has been one of my good learnings. And then I've learned a lot from my mentors like Alok Mittal, Zishan Hayat, Neeraj Singh, Puneet Goyal. They have taught me a lot, and I've learned from their experiences.
But just trying to understand the entire demand dynamics out here. This is a new area, right? So what about the ecosystem? What are we learning in terms of the way the entire demand situation could really play out? Because a couple of years back, if somebody would have said Ola's probably looking at this model for that matter, Uber's been looking at it, somebody would have laughed it off. But the kind of demand, latent demand that's been there, and the way these companies have managed to tap it. What are your plans in that? Is it going to be more metros? Is it going to be more tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities? If you can give us a strategy as to how you go about looking at those avenues.
Yeah, and give us an idea of the price as well. I know you said you're cheaper, but let's say tomorrow I want to hire a car for maybe 4 hours around the city. What's it going to cost?
A BMW would cost you 1,000 rupees with 40 kilometers and diesel included.
Okay.
So that is again cheaper than the Innova which you have in market.
1,000 rupees to hire a Beamer around town for 4 hours. Not bad.
All right. Abha's got her Saturday plans, and she knows which car she's driving this weekend. But just coming back to the entire demand situation, the way traction plays out for some of these cities, I wanted to understand that in detail.
I'll just explain in brief. Like when we started with only luxury cars, similar to what Uber did in US and India. So that we have spent less than 50,000 rupees for initial 1,000 customers, which is, I think, so user acquisition cost is the cheapest in any startup. So tier 2 and tier 3, we have different strategies which I cannot divulge, but tier 2 and tier 3 would see the Indian penetration of the internet as it moves on in the digital age India. You'll see a lot of people having more aspirations. So our product is a bit more of aspiration, then it comes with economics.
Any difficulties you've had in terms of just getting this off the ground? And there's always, as you said, that you didn't have those 20 lakhs in hand when you went to that operator. Any other such difficulties or just with the environment?
It's our product is like maybe 2 years, 3 years. It will take time to kick off. But with giants like Uber and Ola already there, it's very difficult to convince the investor. But our team has a vision for next 7 years, and we know how much revenue we'll make. We have pinpointed our revenues will be profitable in 18 months. So it was very easy to convince at the end, but it took me around 4 months, 160 individual meets to a lot of investors. Then I got my pitch right. So currently I'm sitting in front of you because everything is going right.
No, Aishwarya, the other interesting bit is you mentioned about the fact that it's probably tough to get investors, because of large companies like Uber and Ola. What it also does is it makes a very good demand pitch for you as well, because it gives you a sense that there is demand for these kind of products which probably didn't exist 5 to 6 years back as well. Doesn't that make it, isn't there more recognition now for these kind of products?
Yeah, I just changed my pitch. I said, why should a driver from Uber and Ola buy a car? Instead, he can lease my car and earn the money out of it. So we have to get into the ecosystem and play with the ecosystem. So I think we are into it currently.
And you know, since we talk about this entire segment, one important bit that probably plays on everybody's mind out here, even for a guy who's probably taking the car to ride itself, or even for somebody who's putting your car on the platform, is what about the liability? And that's probably is going to be one of the other battles that you will be fighting right now as well. What are your thoughts and how does the liability picture play?
When Flipkart and all started selling this merchandise online, there were a lot of issues with the trust, like no one used to buy laptops online. But with the COD model, everyone started to get into the concept and now people are comfortable buying it. So the SVT which we have developed, once you know what's happening with your car and who's driving it and all the parameter indexes, you will be comfortable to give out your cars. So with the right mix of technology and right mix of your product, you can solve any problem. That's what we feel. And SVT would be an open source technology and anyone can use it free of cost.
What's interesting is that you're also pitching this against the Ubers and Olas of the world and not actually against any of the other car leasing companies out there.
We believe we would compete with Uber in the next 5 years because our business model is better. The products which are coming up are quite interesting. So we have higher IRR than even Uber's model. That's what we are trying to pitch in.
All right, Aishwarya, I wish you all the very best in your venture, and we hope to hear more from you very soon then. That's Aishwarya Singh there with the concept of JustRide and how they're looking to actually expand in the global operation bit. Clearly, some exciting times ahead, and you've already got your car selected.
Yeah, I've got my car selected, and it's great, Priyank, to also see so many young entrepreneurs who are so confident within the first few months as well of operations. It really shows that there's a vision going forward.